Good evening, guys. Good afternoon. Good late afternoon. Kind of evening, almost, maybe. We're going to let some folks file in and get you up and running here on an update. I don't want this to take too long. Of course, I always say that, and it ends up being about 60 minutes. So I'll do my best to go over the latest with you. What I would like to do is talk about just some of the updated thoughts, and then go kind of come back live once storms really start get going on the state line. Of course, they're already kind of going pretty well up here across northern and northeastern Illinois. There is a tornado watch. Okay, I will pull that up and share that with you all as well. This is the tornado watch right now, and it is going to go until looks like 9 o'clock Eastern time. It would be 8 p.m. Central for Rockford, Chicago, Bloomington, Springfield, Illinois, the eastern half of Illinois there, along and north of I-70, and then Terre Haute, Indy, Lafayette, Kokomo, South Bend, all the way up to Kalamazoo, Grand Rapids, Michigan. Tornado watch is going to go until 9 o'clock tonight. Now, I will say that it is likely, it's probable that this will extend east later this evening as the threat starts to materialize and come east. So as we get, as we're this close to the event, we're going to turn to some guidance that's a little bit newer, but has proven to do well here recently. It's from the Severe Storms Laboratory. It's called the Warn On, and it's a high-resolution computer model that updates every 30 minutes. And I believe it's 1 kilometer resolution, which is actually incredible that we even have that technology. It's super high resolution. And in terms of nowcasting, can really help us pin down locally where more threats, significant threats for rotation, tornadoes, and strong thunderstorms might be located. Okay, so if you're just joining, the viewer count is still rapidly rising right now. We normally don't get everybody in here till about 4 minutes in. So if you would share this with a friend, tag a friend, let folks know that we've got an update ongoing here for the potential at, a regional outbreak of some tornadoes and some severe weather. Overall, right now, hasn't been a lot of change in the forecast and the thought process. But nonetheless, we're still continuing to monitor just how this thing's going to pan out and unfold here throughout the evening. So again, share it with a friend, tag a friend, and we'll get the update going here in just a moment. A couple of questions I'll take while I'm waiting on some more folks to join in is this person says, one more SPC update. Will they expand any of the risks further north and east? It's really hard to predict what another human forecaster is going to see or do. I really have no idea, regardless of what the SPC says. The weather's going to weather. The weather's going to weather, and so the risk maps really don't define the outcome. Is it warranted that a locally enhanced area of tornado potential from 10 to 15% could come across somewhere? Yeah, it's possible. I don't know. There's no way to know. So the tornado watch does the verbiage from the Storm Prediction Center says a few tornadoes are likely. If there's hail, they could be scattered reports of up to tennis ball size hail. That's pretty large hail. I don't know in inches if that's maybe 3-inch hail. I'm not sure. It sounds like it. That would be remarkable. And then scattered wind gusts of up to 70 miles per hour would be possible. So what I'm going to do now, since we've got folks starting to fill in here, is go over some of the latest with you. I want to show you the visible satellite right now. We'll go to the screen here and share that. This is the visible satellite with some data that I've got turned on here. Now, I know this is maybe hard to see and hard to follow, but what I want you to notice is just the colorful contours coming north. There's more energy working in, and then these green lines are dew point temperatures. The moisture is advecting in. Basically, what I'm telling you is things are doing what they're supposed to be doing. The moisture is increasing. The dew point temperature, the moisture in the air, the content is increasing. And so when we look at satellite, we can see the rapid development here of thunderstorms out across central Illinois. according to our data that updates every 30 minutes now from the Warn-On model, this is where the source region of these supercell thunderstorms are going to come from. As we get closer to that 6 o'clock time frame, the next 2 to 3 hours will be telling to see what these thunderstorms can do as they move closer into Indiana. All right. So with that said, again, here's a look at the tornado watch that is in place until 9 o'clock across the area. And you can see all of central Indiana, with the exception of basically 2 counties to the east here. South Bend, Kokomo, Lafayette, Gary, Terre Haute, Indy, Bloomington, Lebanon. You're on that tornado watch until 9 o'clock. Current warnings right now, we'll turn that on. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning that is in place here for the Chicago metro area. That particular severe thunderstorm warning is going to go for hail up to 1 inch and 60-mile-per-hour winds. That's moving into the south side of the Chicago metro area, and that's kind of the first of the severe weather that it'll get going quicker up to the north and west. In far northern Illinois, there is a tornado warning on the state line of northern Illinois and southern Wisconsin. That is a radar-indicated potential tornado. It's not been confirmed. That warning goes for the next 32 minutes with the potential for 3/4-inch hail. The storm just to the south of it has a possible tornado with 60-mile-per-hour winds and 1-inch hail with a severe thunderstorm warning. The storms we're watching to start to organize and pose a threat here across north central and central Indiana are positioned back out across central Illinois. Okay. And that's where I kind of want to turn your attention to our Warn-On weather model here. Again, this is from the Severe Storms Laboratory. It's the Warn-On forecast system. And it's just several individual ensembles of high resolution pieces of data that try to give us forecast in 5-minute increments. How about that? That's pretty impressive that we've got technology that wants to try and forecast the development of supercell thunderstorms in 5-minute increments. Right now, it is 3:15, which is 1915 Z or Zulu time, UTC time, as you see here. And you can see that the model, if anything, might be a tad slow with the convection in Illinois. It's overall seeing it pretty well. I mean, it's moving right into Chicago. It's just a little slow. Now what we're going to watch is central Illinois. You're going to see these little balls here, if you will, they're called paintballs. There's different colors of them that indicate different weather models or different ensembles. And what those do is kind of give us an idea of where all the different little models inside of this model are saying there could be thunderstorm placement. I'm going to take you out to 5 o'clock. This is 5 p.m. You can see those approaching the state line of Illinois and Indiana. Okay. The solid black contours are just where the confidence is highest in these supercell thunderstorms. Anywhere these storms are going to be capable of producing tornadoes. I'm going to take you out to 6 p.m. This is 6 p.m. across Indiana from the I-70 corridor from Terre Haute over towards Hendricks County, Lebanon, Lafayette, up towards the Rensselaer area. A strong clustering of ensembles indicating supercell thunderstorms being possible here along and in and around the I-70 corridor. Again, this is at 6 p.m. Okay, so I think by 6 o'clock across central Indiana, we're looking at severe thunderstorm warnings and possibly tornado warnings west of the metro. All right, along I-65 through Lafayette, west of Indy, and out there in Boone, Montgomery County, out there towards Vigo County, Terre Haute area, and south there in Illinois even. All right, I'm going to take you out to 6:30. You can see those storms going in through Kokomo, just on the west side of the Indy metro area, looking pretty nasty up there across southwestern Michigan, the Kalamazoo area as well, where there could be locally an enhanced tornado threat up there for a strong tornado or two. But I think there could be more tornadoes, or at least, more tornadoes possible across central Indiana individually. Maybe there's 2 or 3 tornado warnings going on simultaneously here tonight across the I-70 corridor here around 6:30. Okay, so we'll take you to 7. Here is 7 p.m. You can see it's right over getting into Muncie on the west side of Fort Wayne, still right over the Kalamazoo, Michigan area. It's and then down here through Indianapolis, and then getting into Morgan County, and even down here through Vincennes. Again, this is 7 p.m. So this model, again, updating every 30 minutes with new data. Now, what I want to show you next is really where the model might indicate storms that have the ability to have the most pronounced rotation, if you will. This here tells us where there could be possibly tornadoes. All right. Again, I don't want to, I'm trying not to, overhype this, if you will. It's not a scare tactic. It's the data. It does pretty well. What I'm going to do is stop the screen share, open up a different tab so I can draw on this for you. And I want to show you guys what I'm talking about here real quick. We'll go back to the screen share. Share this with a friend, by the way, if you're watching. Let's go right here. And that way I can draw on this for you. But there's a couple of indications now that there can be a tornado across the I-70 corridor here. Again, if we're looking at that worn-on weather model, go down here to a little bit smaller size than this, so you guys can kind of see what this model is doing. I do believe it has the skill to see this. Here's one across Lebanon into Kokomo. We want to watch that area there. Okay. And then again, some stronger suggestions from Terre Haute over to the Indy metro area into Muncie. Perhaps one south from the Morgan County, Johnson County, Shelby County area. You can kind of see how I'm individualizing these threats based on the model guidance itself. And then again, I can try to enlarge it and see if it is easier for you all to view. How's it look on mobile, guys? I don't have it pulled up, but let me see if I'm trying to expand it here, but I think it's because I'm screen sharing. It won't let me make it any bigger. It's as big as I can get it right now, guys, so apologize, but that's as good as it's going to get. So again, I'm looking at, one supercell storm that could be from Morgan to Johnson to Shelby County. I'm looking at one that could go from Terre Haute into the Indy metro area. I'm looking at another one that could potentially go from, Lafayette, Lebanon, Kokomo-ish area. And then I'm looking at a very strong signal, probably the strongest signal up here in Southwest Michigan for a couple of stronger tornadoes. Again, based on this guidance, this would be timing-wise, right? Important to note, I believe timing-wise, this would be about right here. We're going to call that line right there probably, let's call that about 5 o'clock. We'll call this next line here about 6 o'clock. We'll call this next line here about 7 o'clock. Okay. I'll try to illustrate that for you as simple as possible. So here's 5 p.m. on the first line. Let's turn off the dashes here. 6 p.m. on this line here. Now I'm talking for Indiana. 7 p.m. on the third line for these individual supercells to kind of move through central Indiana. So again, I think from this 5 to 7 or 5 to 8 p.m. time frame is really when we're looking at the most heavily or a dense time frame for warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings, tornado warnings. Guys, you got to look at the map here. I mean, what about Brownsburg? I mean, come on. I mean, you got to see that what I'm drawing on here. Brownsburg's on the west side of Indy, and it's probably about 6:30. Okay, just try to stick with me here. 6 to 7 p.m. Indy and Johnson County. Yes. Yeah, that's an accurate assessment. So the drawings that you see here, these are the drawings of where the model is trying to indicate storms that have the ability to rotate or be stronger. Maybe it's not rotation, maybe it's hail. And maybe it's just a more organized supercell of thunderstorm, if you will. Okay, so That's like my most detailed analysis I can give you right now. I mean, I'm just trying to really get pinpoint specific here. It doesn't get any more specific than this. I can't get any better for you on that. I do believe I have a map that the team made here that I can show. Brett, would you send me that map that you made so I can show that? I'll end with that map. That's the best I've got on timing. If you are, guys, I'm getting bombarded with questions on timing. If you did not get the timing out of what I just drew, I cannot help you. I literally made it as plain as day as I possibly could. I'm not trying to be rude. I just don't know how else to say it. So please go back and watch. I'll go through and answer questions here in a moment. I will throw some comments up, but again, there's only so much I can do with this timing. I'm going to draw this, pull this map up that the team made that shows where we think the threat for tornadoes might be the greatest. Here's that right now. Most widespread tornado and massive hail threat. That's some aggressive wording. You know.
The cell southwest of Chicago, MRMS has 2.75 inch diameter.
Wow. So yeah, the cell that's southwest of Chicago right now, the MRMS is already estimating well over 2-inch hail. So that's crazy. So there's your two areas. Now you can have tornadoes and hail in the red too. It doesn't mean you won't get a hailstorm or a tornado threat in the area where it's not the magenta color. So just keep that in mind. Doesn't mean that you're just out of the threat. We're just trying to enhance these areas of focus for you. I'm getting some more images here. Let's see what we got here.
Yeah, that's the Nowcast. John said it'd be good to give them the example.
Yes, it's great.
I'll post our links here in the comments.
Yeah, this is great. So we just sent this Nowcast out to our customers into Clarity. This is great. This is really what I was just talking about with timing, and everything spelled out onto a map. So if you're a client in Clarity, you just got this pushed to your mobile device, 5 minutes ago or so. So it doesn't really get any better than that. That's great. The timing is on here. You can see down here on the bottom part of the map where they have highlighted the timing windows, 4 to 7 p.m. there. All right. 5 to 8 p.m. here, 6 to 10 p.m. here in between these. And again, if you're in between these lines, there's your 4 to 7, there's your 5 to 8, and there's your 6 to 10. And then this here is the greatest threat for tornadoes and large hail across central Indiana, and the greatest threat for tornadoes and large hail across northern Indiana and southwest Michigan. So what a great map, ton of great value here. And share this with your friends. Share this on the pages, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or X, or whatever the heck you call it now. Let folks know where you got that from. Okay, so what a great map. I will keep that up while I try to answer some questions. Here's a great question. Central Ohio, does it stay strong when it hits us? I believe so, especially Western Ohio. From Columbus west, I think from Columbus east, it can start to really kind of die off as the instability, the daytime heating lets up. So good question there. Yeah, after 8 to 9 p.m., it will start to die off there, okay? Going to be a long night in southeast Indiana. Yes, it will be. Great map, very clear, concise. Thank you. Subscribe to Clarity. Thank you, Jake. Thank you, all of you. Thank you. Very nice of you. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to wrap this particular stream up now with a look at radar. And once these storms start becoming more organized, closer to the 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock time frame, we'll probably come back with an update. So give us a couple hours here to gather our thoughts. And I will show you real quick just on Clarity, because Brett was talking about the major hail indication. This is a look at hail tracks in the last 30 minutes on the southwest side of Chicago. And why is it doing that to me? Let me refresh that real quick. And you can see here, look at that here, just how close in we can get on our hail data live. Francis Road, Hadley, Haas Road, you look at that, that's 2.64 inch hail. on the southwest side of the Chicago metro area. There's a lot of people that live here and a lot of buildings and a lot of cars, and that's massive hail. Orland Park, I'm sorry, just there on the south side of the metro, 1.85-inch hail. When we look at radar currently, the DBZs, the returns here are 70 DBZs. It's crazy. It's interesting that the warning verbiage is still only 1-inch hail. I don't know if we've had any hail reports yet, but nonetheless, you can kind of see what's going to go into Southwest Michigan. What might happen, guys, based on this, as this cell gets into Michigan, this might be where the hail and the wind threat is more pronounced. Maybe that's what the warn on is seeing. Or maybe these supercells south of this can produce some tornadoes. Nonetheless, the activity further south that's cellular and not in a big blob, to me, pose more attention to potentially becoming tornadic as they move further east. So that's the latest. That's all I have for now. I will come back here in an hour or a little bit longer and keep you all posted. So share this with a friend. Thanks for